Hey, good morning. We got a 2015 Camry here, and we're going to pull this dash unit out of here. The navigation touchscreen here doesn't work anymore. We'll replace the screen. That'll be on a different video, but this one just tells you how to remove this whole unit here out of the car. So instead of starting right here, we're going to start down here. So what we need to do is we need to pull this up. Okay, this is in the center console. Okay, you see this? Okay, so this has two clips on the back, or four clips, I'm sorry. Four clips on the back. You see these clips? All right, if it's the first time it's ever come off, it might be a little difficult to do it by hand, so you use some kind of a panel popper tool, and I'll show you that in a second here. Okay, this is the panel popper tool that I'm going to use here. It looks almost like an upholstery tool, but it pops panels up, okay? So you would pop it under the corner here, pop it up. You see where the four clips are, right? Each corner you're going to pop it up so you don't break the plastic. Once you get it out like this, we need to remove these two electrical connectors. If you look at the connector here, it's just a push and pull type connector. So we're going to grab it, push that little tab in, and pull this out. You don't want to pull in the wires, because if you pull in the wires, you can pull out the little connectors that are inside, and then you won't have a connection when you plug it back in. There we go. We're going to set that aside. Okay, now we have to remove this section. In order to do so, we're going to have to remove the shift knob, and in order to do that, we pull this piece down just like that. Okay, after we get this piece out, then we're going to go to this whole piece here is going to come out. Okay, it's going to come out together, and first thing we're going to do is unscrew these two Phillips screws in the back end here, and you can see it like that, right? And then we'll go from there. Here I'm using a drill screw gun. Pull one screw out. Okay, I'm going to pull this screw out. Okay, and we're going to just don't start the car, just turn the key on. We're going to make sure that the parking brake here is on. Put this shifter back, and we're going to pull this up just like that. Okay, you don't really need it completely out of the shift boot. Unscrews, and then you pull the center piece up through the shift lever and pull it out. Then you got to remove the four screws here to remove that luggage package compartment. So there's one screw there, and there's an upper screw. There's that one, the one up top, and then on the right side, same thing. Take those four screws on. That whole unit just pops out. I don't pop it out yet, but we'll pop it out later. You'll see it later in the video. Then we're going to move to the top instead, and remove the vent cover piece that goes over the unit. And at that point, there's four bolts that hold that unit in place. So that's what we're trying to get to. Now, from this point, I take those four screws out. I dropped one. Of course, I had to go down and get it. And I show you, you see you can pull it, but we're not going to remove it. We're going to go ahead and take our pry tool, panel popper tool, and we're going to pull that vent cover off. And I'll show you right here that on each corner there's a clip in the front. You're just going to pry up just gently so you don't damage anything, real gently, and it should just pop up. Okay, the view there was a little awkward, but you can see how I was just gently prying up on that panel so we don't crack it, break it, or anything like that. There's three clips in the front, and there's two clips in the back. So I bring it over to the side here and just kind of gently pop it up, and that should pop it all the way up. And then we can pick it up, and there's one electrical connector on it, and we're going to flip it over to the side. We're not going to actually take the electrical out because we don't really need to take it completely out. And there's the two bolts that I was talking to you about on the top, and then there's two more on the bottom. So at this point, we got to pull that lower luggage compartment piece out of there. So we're going to go ahead and do that and go from there. There it is.
we're going to try to pry it out. And
okay, so
we'll pop that piece
got
out,
that off,
set it aside,
2 bolts that were right
and
there
go
holding
from
this
there.
on. Now we're going to come back down
So
here.
now
And pull
we'll go ahead and pull that
this,
one out.
Tray out.
See how it's loose there?
We got to turn the
We're
car
gonna pull
back
it out
on.
of there,
Don't start it.
and then
just
get the 2 bolts that
push
hold
the
the
button
unit
twice
in there.
without your foot on the
So we're
brake.
gonna
Just
go
turn
ahead
it
and turn
on.
the key back on and pull that shift lever back into drive again.
Bring the gear shift
Making sure the
lever
parking
back.
brake is on.
Obviously, make
Do
sure
not
that
start
the
the
parking
car.
brake is still on.
Just make sure the parking brake is on and the key is in on position.
Pull this
pull
out.
that unit out of there.
See, there's 2
There
clips
are a
at the
couple
top.
of plugs.
There.
Once again, they're just push clips.
Now,
you just push the little tab and
a
pull
lot of
each
stuff
one
plugged
away.
into here, but there's only 2 plugs that go to the
unplug
car.
it. And then we'll set that unit aside. And
maybe
here we go with the electrical connectors.
So, again,
right,
push
there's 1.
Pull on the connectors.
There's
not
2.
Pull on the wires.
There's 3. I don't think that one has to come out, but we pulled it out anyway. And then that
2 and 3.
And then the whole unit comes out.
And that other 4th one, we didn't have to unplug that. Okay.
All right.
Set this one aside.
Now you got the 2 bolts at the top, 2 bolts at the bottom. We're gonna take the 2 bolts at the bottom out. Same thing as the top.
Okay.
And then that unit should pull right on out of there.
The unit will come out. Okay.
So we'll go ahead and do that.
So you got the 4 bolts, 2 at the bottom, 2 at the top.
All right.
The whole unit should unclip and pull out.
Now that we have all 4 bolts out, we should just be able to gently pull that unit forward. There's clips that hold that in as well, just like the bolts. So we just kind of gently pry it. And then we pull it out of the hole there. And once we get it out, there's a bunch of electrical connectors on the back there too. Now some of them go from the head unit, navigation unit, to the amplifier. You don't have to unplug those. Now you can pull the whole unit out of the car and put the new one in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel.